So this panel represents the prayer for Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done into the arts in Haiti. And within that, the major image here is the equilateral triangle, which is a pattern that's reflected all through this series, this fractal of the equilateral triangle. And here, it's becoming a prism that would catch a light and refract it. So playing on that theme of a fractal, light can be refracted to give you the color spectrum of light. And that's something I think about a lot as an artist, as someone who works with light and color and form. But here it became a metaphor, and actually for me, I think a revelation of how to disciple and really raise up kingdom-hearted artists. And it came, I was driving to a meeting with the art director at my church, and kind of an overwhelming sense of three things that were pivotal to a strong art program. And I felt like the first would be the depth of your personal relationship with the Lord. The second, the mastery of your craft. And the third, your integration to the body, like knowing your part in the whole. And that is how we would equip and think about, kind of strategize how to grow up artists. Like, where are you strongest and where are you weakest? Your craft or your knowing your place, because we artists can become really egocentric, or we can become loners and kind of pull back within ourselves. Both ends of the spectrum is not helpful. And I got to the meeting with my art director. I started telling him this, and he starts tearing up and crying. He slides across his journal from the night before, and it's the same three things. It was such a dramatic confirmation, kind of like hairs on the back of your neck standing up, like, wow. So it became kind of the seeds of this painting, where as an art teacher, that is my role. Like, my personal mission statement is to raise up a generation of kingdom-hearted artists. And now my day-to-day, like my 9-to-5 job is as an art teacher in a Christian ministry standpoint, where we're integrating our faith and our work together. And so I think a lot. And so the three sides of the triangle are these three things. Down below, we're seeing craftsmen who have done their 10,000 hours. That's that conversation that it takes about 10,000 hours of repeated activity in something to master your craft. That's 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year for 5 years, if I'm doing my math right. All you math guys out there could be laughing at me if I got that wrong, but it's a long time, a lot of hard work. And this quadrant here is an allusion to the depth of our personal walk with the Lord, that we can't give what we don't have. So if you're not drawing out of a well of faith and inspiration, then you can't, or rather you're limiting. I don't want to say can't. God can do through anyone, anytime what he wants to do. But I want to collaborate with him. I don't want to work against him, and I don't want to work despite him. I want to be in step with him. And so that's what this is really, being that mature, pliable, in-tuned person moving in the power of the Spirit. And so here on the chest of this figure is another equilateral triangle, signifying again this fractal of the Trinity down into the smallest individual component, or even the individual decisions we make and how they build out. And so he's wearing the breastplate of righteousness. Again, this 7 pieces of armor in Ephesians 6. And so we've got, again, the mastery of craft, the depth of your spirit, and then finally over here are these equilateral triangles either coming together or being pulled apart. A fractal means you can infinitely take this same shape and put them together, and it makes a bigger shape that's the same DNA. And you can go infinitely big or infinitely small. You can break any one of these triangles down into infinitely smaller. And so we're not a fraction of God, we're a fractal. We actually have the entire Holy Spirit inside of us. So when we join together as where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, we are a bigger fractal. Where families or communities come together, churches, regions, you're a bigger fractal. And ultimately, throughout this series, the fractals all come together to join and become the bride of Christ. Well, here it's like we need to find our place within community. And so here are children dancing, and even kind of the artisans and musicians working together in collaboration to make sound and harmony, to make dance, to make image. There's paintings down here. It's the full spectrum that once we are positioned in our maturity, that we have the depth of our spiritual journey, mastery of our craft, and we found our place and where to serve, it's like then we are perfectly aligned for the Lord to shine on us and refract the entire spectrum of what He designed us to do.